Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Seb, and today we're going to be doing the very first book review. Today, I think we're going to have to start pretty easily by covering a well-known, if overshadowed, piece of literature, and that is the classic 1962 crime novel by Mario Puzo. Yes, that's right, I'm talking about The Godfather. Now, what I was just getting at there, obviously, was that the book has often been overshadowed by the Francis Ford Coppola 1972 masterpiece of cinema, which is often heralded by the majority of people as one of, if not the greatest movie of all time, along with its sequel, Godfather Part 2. Now, I'm not here to debate what the greatest movie of all time is. I'm here to talk about the book. But just to be clear, I recently rewatched for the first time those first two movies, and yes, this is the first time I think I properly was able to appreciate it. The first time I watched them, I was much younger. I don't think I got the nuance. I had to ask my dad for a lot of this, what was going on. But this time around, yes, they are phenomenal films. Go watch them if you haven't, if you've been living under a rock somehow. But hey, I'm not here to tell you what to do. You do you, is my recommendation. But here we're going to talk about the book for once. Let's make something clear first. If you have only watched the movie and never read the book, this is kind of an interesting adaptation in that it is primarily focused on the events of the movie. The book is primarily focused. The movie covers the book. But then the sequel also includes elements that are in this book. But for the most part, Francis Ford Coppola and Mario Puzo worked together to write Godfather Part 2. So that is an original creation by both of them, which they made adapted for the screen. So yeah, let's get to the book. If you really love the characters from the movie, this is one of those things where you will get the opportunity to really explore them in depth, what they're thinking about, because, in films, no matter how great the actors are, the nuance of a performance cannot give you the exact words. And now, that's sort of going to come down to your personal preference of what kind of media and how you like to interpret thoughts and analyze characters. But as far as getting a more in-depth look into the characters, the book is always going to trump any adaptation, because unless they're doing some sort of weird David Lynch Dune thing where they're just talking at you. But yeah, no, all in all, I think if you really love the characters, this is the way to go. But I'm never going to say don't watch the movie. In fact, I would say do both. If you love the movies, read the book. If you love the book, watch the movies. This is just baseline stuff here we're talking about. But in general, I think that this is the kind of book which I picked up just mostly on a whim, just to decide because I could, and I actually listened to the audiobook, and I really enjoyed that, because I thought, if you really want the gritty Italian feel, like, there's a lot of pronunciations which you might not be able to do the best at, obviously the audiobook narrator, and obviously there's a lot of, you can tell he's very much sort of, copying the Godfather here. The voices, he's doing their best job, and it's well done. It's a well-produced audiobook. So if that's something that's interesting to you, obviously check that out. Yes, it is not a word-for-word adaptation. For the most part, the events, I would say, covered in the film are about as accurate as you can get, right up until the end, where some stuff changes and you can sort of see where they decided to change in order to make the sequel. I'm not going to get into that territory because that's spoiler territory, and I really don't want to get into that. If you want me to talk about that, I don't know, I can get into it if you're curious. That's its own thing, but that would be a separate video. As for what I didn't like, I'm not usually a big crime novel guy. I say that, but I actually haven't read that much, so it's probably just one of those blind spots I need to explore more often. But in general, it's one of those things where I appreciated the experience of reading something a little out of my wheelhouse, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, no, it's interesting. It's one of those books where you read it, and especially when you're working. And I popped in the audiobook while I was working, and it was just time to kill, and it was definitely one of those experiences where I was able to appreciate both the book itself, and of course getting a better appreciation for the characters in the movie and is the whole property of Godfather. So if you're looking for some kick-ass crime thriller stuff, then you can. This is the Godfather here we're talking about. Like, we cannot stress enough how iconic this book movie has been for the crime genre. Like, think about any mafia movie that has come out in the last decades. I don't know, almost 100 years. We're gonna get there eventually, but yeah, no, it's not like anything you can scoff at, and I don't think anybody would scoff at. This is a film which influence has been etched into stone. If there's anything I didn't quite like, I definitely think I prefer the film because I quite enjoy Godfather Part 2. So the ending, if you're say it's the sort of thing where I figure if you lean towards one end of the spectrum more and you prefer the film, then you might not like the ending of the book too much because that's what differs, and that's definitely just an adaptation, something you lose in translation. But it's also one of those things where I don't know if everybody's gonna like it. It's one of those things where I don't know how much you're going to like a book which is different from its awesome movie. I don't know if that makes sense to you. Maybe I'm just rambling. I don't know how much of this I'm gonna have to edit out. Here we are. If there's something I don't think I quite liked, it was too short in a sense. I don't know. I feel like everything just had to happen really fast. And maybe this is just one of those things that in a family drama of this story. Because at the end of the day, The Godfather is more of a family drama than it is a crime drama. The crime is almost secondary to the family aspects of the novel. You got the three brothers, you got the sister, and you got, of course, the Godfather. You got the Corleone family. But it's their relationship that sort of drives the plot of the book and the film. And I'm sorry, I feel like I keep going back to the film too much because I feel like they're inseparable in my mind, and I think in the subconscious of the people, because like more people have seen the movie than have actually read the book. It's one of those weird anomalies that comes with a great adaptation, I suppose. Same with Lord of the Rings in a sense. But yeah, no, I mean it's not a perfect book. It slows down at parts, but it's definitely worth picking up if you're at least interesting. If you are interested in reading this book, I'd suggest you go ahead and do it. But it is going to come down to taste, I think. I think if you want a high-stakes crime thrill, this is not it. But then again, if you have any... Like, this is the sort of thing where it's like, if you're interested in... If you've never read the book or seen the movie, then this is not a bad idea. You can go ahead, read the book, check it out. It's the sort of thing where I can't really suggest which one you should start with because they're both good options, and it's really going to depend on which one you choose to do first. That's personal taste. This is a weird review, I think, because it's like I feel like I'm going around in circles and talking about the movie more than I am talking about the book. But at the end of the day, they're so hard to distinguish that it is what it is. So be it, I guess. Well, guys, that's all I have about to say on the matter. I hope I didn't waste your time. I will try to get better at at speaking, talking to the camera, and I hope you enjoy it for what it's worth. Thanks for watching. If you did, like and subscribe if you don't mind doing that. That always makes me feel better. And I'll see you in the next video, guys. Bye-bye.